Hello and welcome back to another video from 55 degrees north. Today I'm down at Castle Garth, where I'm going to try and uncover the historical past of Newcastle's Castle Keep, from which the city gets its name. The keep has played a significant role in the city's rich history, so let's dive right in and see what we can discover. One of the biggest misconceptions people have about the Castle Keep is that it's just an old medieval fortress, but that's not entirely true. While it does date back to the 12th century, it's been modified and rebuilt numerous times throughout the centuries. In AD 1080, Robert Curthose, the eldest son of William the Conqueror, laid the foundation of a castle. However, the new castle wasn't the first stronghold built here to defend the river crossing. A Roman fort stood on the site 500 years earlier. The Romans established the fort to defend a bridge which was built across the Tyne, where the gorge was at its narrowest point. The fort was built on the hilltop where the present castle now stands. Following the Norman conquest in 1066, William the Conqueror was faced with bringing the north of England under control, so his son Robert, who was campaigning in Scotland on his return to England, was tasked with building the new castle as a way of controlling the river crossings and intimidating the rebellious locals. The first castle was built of earth and timber, probably of a modern Bailey design. The castle remained in use for around 100 years. In 1154, Henry II came to the throne. He regained control of Northumberland and Cumbria from the Scots, so between 1168 to 1178 the castle was rebuilt out of stone. In medieval times, the entire castle was encircled by a curtain wall. The wall stretched all the way around the castle. The yard inside the walls of the castle would usually be known as a bailey. However, the one in Newcastle became known as Castle Garth, Garth being an old word for yard. Entering through the Black Gate, which was once the original North Gate and became the Black Gate when a barbican was added by Henry III and was built between 1247 and 1250. This created a narrow angled maiden entrance passage defended by gates, towers, a portcullis and turning bridges. This was the last addition to the castle defences. On entering the Black Gate, you would have passed two prisons: the Great Pit, which was one in one of the towers of the earlier North Gate, and the Heron Pit. The Heron Pit is named after William Heron, Sheriff of Northumberland from 1247 until 1257. He was known for cruelly profiteering from taxes and holding citizens for unjust reasons in the pit. The primary chamber in the basement of the keep is the garrison room, but there is no evidence to say soldiers were garrisoned here. Its longest usage was a jail from the Tudor period to the early 1800s. The jail was used to house prisoners while they awaited trial. The largest of two flights of stairs leads to a small chamber called the pit room, which was used as a prison cell for prisoners who had been tried and were awaiting the death sentence. Also on the ground floor was the chapel. There would have been a second chapel in the grounds of the castle for the garrison to use. The chapel in the keep was reserved for royalty, officers of the garrison and important guests. In the 1780s, the chapel became a beer cellar for the neighbouring Three Bulls Heads public house, which was demolished to make way for the railways. The main room on the first floor is the lower hall. Most of the room, including the central pillar, comes from the 1810 to 1812 restoration. In the 1820s, the room was used as a prison for female debtors, then a classroom for a Sunday school pupils until around 1848. A room on the north of the lower hall would have been a bedroom, office and meeting room for officers of the castle. The main room on the second floor is the Great Hall. This room would have been used for meetings, audiences and other grand occasions. The ceiling is a brick arch inserted between 1810 and 1812. The fireplace is a much later addition, which is dated around 1599, and it came from an inn on the Sandhill, which is part of the 1810 restoration of the keep. In the southwest corner there is an apartment called the King's Chamber. The fireplace in this room dates back to the keep's original construction and is one of the earliest in Britain to remain in its original state. The paved flat roof, along with the parapets and corner turrets, only date from the 1810 to 1812 restoration. A noon gun used to be fired until the 1850s, but after a number of accidents, in one a gunner was killed, the practice was discontinued. The best bit about the roof is those spectacular views of Newcastle, especially the views of the Tynes bridges. The castle includes flights of spiral staircases and two narrow galleries which encircle the keep. Running inside the thickness of the walls, arrow slits are present on all four sides, through which the castle could be defended by archers. Substantial parts of the curtain wall remain between the keep and the castle. Much of the wall, including a well, was excavated in the late 60s and early 70s. The impressive south gate stands near the top of castle stairs. The east gate was uncovered in the 1980s at the head of Dogleap Stairs. With construction of the railway viaduct in the 1840s, the Black Gate and keep were cut off from one another. So just before I wrap this video up, I will leave you with views from the top of the keep. Thanks for joining me on this journey of discovery. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below about what surprised you the most about Newcastle's Castle Keep. Also, please give the video a massive thumbs up as it really helps my channel grow, and if you've not already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that bell notification when I release more videos. A massive thank you for watching. See you next time on 55 Degrees North.